Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Tell That to the Winter Sea about two women who had a teen romance back in the day, and now one of them's it's later, and now one of them's getting married, and they rekindle their friendship and possibly their romance. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy Heart in South Jersey. It's the Pineys books 1 through 14, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. If you're looking for a movie that is all women, for women, by women, women, I think it would be this movie. There's a wedding in it. There's a lost love. The most hilarious part of this trailer is a line in the movie where one of the characters says, I know it's always been difficult for us to share feelings. Really? That seems all this movie does is share feelings. This is the most feeling movie I've ever seen. It's a drama about love and relationships. I would never see it. I would have to be dating Margot Robbie herself to be forced to watch this movie. Directed by Jacqueline Bethany, and screenplay by Greta Bella Messina and Jacqueline Bethany. And I think Greta's one of the main characters. So good on you, doing a lot of heavy lifting. So I mean, you have attractive leads, and I guess this will be a movie that'll appeal to some. You can't see it appealing to men, though. Other than the leads are pretty attractive. So beyond that, it just seems like it's just drowning in relationships. I mean, not necessarily anything wrong with that. Just seems kind of boring to me. And there's a wedding involved. So I don't really see a ton of stuff here for the guys. But that's okay. Ladies, you could have this movie. It's a movie for you. You can see they're sitting around, they're talking. Tell That to the Winter Sea, it's called. I'm not sure what that means. I guess that's a expression. I think it takes place in the UK. So first act, these two are teenagers in school, and they have a little romance of sorts, puppy love, if you will. Then it's 12 years later, and the blonde girl's getting married, and the other girl's still her best friend, and I guess they haven't talked about their relationship in 12 years, or I don't know. And now she's getting married, and now they're, did you ever think about me? Did you ever think about what might have been? And it's, a good solid hour of that. I don't think there's really a crisis here, other than maybe there's some crying and hugging, and then she gets married, and I think the message feels like, all women are secretly bi. It just seems like the message in this, but I don't think that's the intent, but I think that's sort of the unintended message in a way. But, it just, I don't know. I had trouble concentrating on the dialogue in this thing. It's just so boring and girly to me. Let's see. Is there a write-up? Celebrating her upcoming marriage, bride-to-be Jo invites childhood friend and first love Scarlett on a girls' trip to a country manor. However, despite drifting apart as adults, unresolved feelings still linger between them, while the rest of the group enjoys the wedding away, or the weekend away. With Jo about to embark on a new stage of her life, but struggling to let go of the past, she reflects on Scarlett, on the young girls they once were, and the women they are becoming. Again, nothing wrong with it. Just don't see the entertainment value for me. But, I could see ladies, some enjoying this in an art house setting, because it feels very arty. But that's about it. It seems to be a very niche. I would say it's kind of a niche audience. I wouldn't say it would have much wide appeal. So, yeah. They say a lot of times in Hollywood, I mean, this really isn't Hollywood, it's the UK, but they say a lot of times, there's not enough movies for women. Where are the women movies? And I think what they mean by that is there's not enough big movies for women. But, this can't be a big movie. It'll never be a big movie. It might be successful. It might do okay. But it's very niche. It's drilling down into stuff, and it's not exciting. It's not exciting to see people sitting around talking about relationships. There's very few movies that can kind of pull some of that off, but it's usually mixed in with other stuff, other intrigue, or maybe there's some action or some big thing. It's just not a broad enough appeal, It really only appeals to a slice of the female audience. That kind of, because this is the kind of stuff, I don't like to see movies, personally, about everyday people, necessarily, because I already, family dramas, they don't kind of interest me all that much, because, I live in the real world, and there's we don't have a lot of family drama in my family, but there's some, I don't want to see movies about people talking about their medical issues or their drama. It's just boring to me. I want to see movies about people in places that I haven't seen, or that don't even exist. So, I think there are people, men and women, who sort of agree with me on that. Not everybody, but there's a good chunk of people who why go to the movies to see something that you kind of experience on a daily basis? It just doesn't make any sense, to pay for that, when you could just go out and kind of experience. So that kind of just puts a cap on this movie that can never be. You'll never get men to be into this movie. You'll just never get them to be in it. You could put the leads in bikinis for the whole movie, and they'd still be like, hey, it's okay for about 5 seconds, and then they started talking. So it just, that's why there's a limit. There's a limit. There's a way to make movies that are big. And it's not, the answer isn't just to, if you want women to be in big movies, some women are. Sigourney Weaver was an Alien. It was a big movie. It was a big franchise. But, when you talk about putting women into things, you can't keep making it just about women things, because that limits it to women already, and then it just gets smaller and smaller from there, depending on how far you drill down. So, but, ladies, tell that to the winter scene, which is coming out in, I don't know, probably goes right to streaming, or possibly in your art house movie. Anyhow, that's it for me. Tony D and Little Joan. I almost said Tony B. Why would I say that? Anyhow, I'll be at the Jersey Devil Fest Saturday, tomorrow, from 10 to 6. It looks like the weather's going to be clear, so we won't have to deal with the rain. Last year I got rained out and freaked, and didn't even want to set up my tent, and I went home. But this year, I think I'm setting up my tent. I think it'll all be good, and hopefully I'll see you there. We'll see you in the next one.